Yo, we're live. Here we
Mike's
go.
hot with Mike.
Can you close the door and hit that fan? All right, here we go. Episode 21, Chris Fluck Podcast. Frank Donley back in the game. Probably going 60 minutes of mayhem, I think, on this one here.
Would you consider us a dynamic duo?
Yeah. Shout out to D-Block for telling us 90 minutes of us talking is
It's
probably
too much.
a little bit too much. I don't agree with her.
She wants us to do 10-minute segments.
You kill that fan?
I still think you should break up your longer videos into small segments on YouTube to get people like if they watch a couple of those, then link them to the actual one. Micro content, lead them to like some big stuff.
Yeah, I need to get an intern. I'll probably hook that up.
Yeah.
Put it on the list.
Cord, man.
Add it to the list. No, legitimate intern. We're coming in hot, though, with some serious talk.
D-Block. I need to slow down today, too. Amy. Shout out.
Shout out.
She's trying to get us better.
Just did a camp today, man. Just got back. Her son is part of that camp.
Is he a beast?
Competitor.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely. No, it's cool. It's all good.
Like Michael Jordan style?
Yeah.
That's good. That's dope.
Jay-Z, man.
Black Album.
Yeah. Been nothing but bumping Jay-Z in here.
For at least 24 hours.
I know, not even.
Not even a huge Jay-Z fan.
I think we listened to 4 CDs since 6 p.m. last night. It's all good. We're coming in hot, though, with another topic. This is probably the most we didn't agree on in a while, I think. NFL.
Which one? I was going to say we disagree all the time.
So kickstarted with, I think, Brock Lesnar talk.
Yeah.
So Lesnar's an absolute freak. I think he was like a 2-time champ at a Division II school, and then he transferred to Minnesota. He lost to a guy that I said was even another freak, Stephen Neal, who played with the Patriots for like 10 years, Super Bowl champ, lineman. Nobody talks about Stephen Neal at all. I mean, he was like...
It's because he wasn't in WWE,
I don't know if he was an Olympic.
Bro.
I know. I don't know if he was an Olympic heavy, but he was a multiple-time national champ, like Cal Bakersfield or something like that. He was an animal, NFL guy. Lesnar lost to him one year, then Lesnar won the title the next year. But I think he beat somebody pretty prominent as well that year. But so Lesnar tries out for the Vikings, doesn't make the
well, he went into WWE first, right?
WWE.
He's an entertainer. That's why people know.
I mean, this guy landed on his head trying a backflip off the top rope, broke his neck. 280-some
pounds on him?
Yes, moonsault, I think, or he did some other sort of craziness.
Think about that. Yeah. He's a freak athlete.
Yes, absolute animal. So he did that thing, probably got bored.
5 years, maybe?
Said, yeah, maybe. Probably was a champ.
I think he was a heavyweight champ, bro. And then he wanted to play football, so he got in the NFL. Walks on for the Minnesota Vikings.
Did not play in college.
It's just crazy, because think about not developing any of that skill set. It's just being that athletic.
Just decided.
He played in high school, though, right?
I believe so,
I think to some extent.
But do you think those coaches liked him?
But he made the practice squad, but he was too much of an egomaniac to do that. He didn't want to, do that kind of thing.
Well, it's also that conversation, too, that we had with the soccer player the other day. She, in her mind, it was like soccer all the time. And we're like, no, these coaches want you to have some potential for growth. It's like these NFL coaches might have saw Lesnar as just a physical phenom.
Specimen, yeah.
Like all these other NFL combine chumps we're probably going to talk about in a little bit. So Lesnar's an absolute freak. They keep him around. Maybe he could turn into something. Like, remember the Eagles drafted that dude?
Honestly, I would think he would have.
Remember like 2 years ago, the Eagles drafted that Samoan, that rugby, the rugby dude?
Yeah, did he ever pan out to anything?
I don't have a clue.
He was an absolute freak, right? He was like 350, but like ran super fast.
Like a deer.
I remember that YouTube video of him actually playing rugby, just trucking people, bro. And like breakaway speed.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's pretty cool. For him anyway. So it's not like these guys.
That's true.
It's not like NFL teams have never like taken chances on guys before. So like Jimmy Graham, college basketball player, somehow
Antonio Gates,
played
same
maybe
story.
a year in college, I think. Like I would think Jimmy Graham played, like you could play 4 years of one sport and then you could have that 5th year doing something else.
Okay.
Like I think Jimmy Graham played.
So he played 4 years of basketball and then went and played 1 year of football and got drafted?
I think so.
But that's why, look at his ceiling. Like, he just kept getting better and better, right? Until he's struggled recently.
But then
with injuries
there's a lot of other
like
failures, though, too. Like, I don't know, Jimmy Graham, it wasn't like he was the greatest basketball player ever, but somehow it worked for him in football. Antonio Gates went to Kent State. Like, it wasn't like he was killing it on the – well, he was.
Are there any players that did that weren't tight ends? Like, is there just a good translation between like people that play basketball and the tight end position in the NFL?
I'm trying to think of this.
There's another one, too.
Remember that guy that was a small school guy that went to the Final Four? I think it was after George Mason. But I remember, like, a guy on their team was trying something. But I think it was a tight end situation. I don't know.
It seems to be like that specific position.
Well, what are they, 6 foot, 3 to 6'6" range? And
probably, 6'3" to 6'6". They probably have decent hand-eye coordination.
Well, people talk, too, like, you're going to play defense and, like, learn how to put a hand in the ground, and be aggressively coming at
I mean, it would probably be more. What the transition offense would be way easier because you know where you got to be and you just got to get there, right? So
I think they only ask.
Or if they're just freak athletes, so they should be able to, it's a reaction thing on defense, reactive, but they don't have to learn. I mean, the system.
They get punched.
A tight end needs to learn their route tree. They don't need to be aware, a different position like quarterback. Be aware of where everyone is on the field.
It's not these guys are devastating blockers. They're used.
They're just freak athletes, yeah.
They're only probably asked to do a handful of things. Obviously, Antonio Gates playing 12 years, however many years, 15 years. Each year, I'm sure he's added more to his skill set. But I'm sure they don't ask too much out of people in the beginning. Yeah. But so anyway, here's the
Heath Millers and stuff.
Here's the argument.
Phenomenal blockers.
So we went from Brock Lesnar to maybe LeBron James.
LeBron James was the argument. I probably retract what I said about Shaquille O'Neal.
All right, Shaq O'Neal. That was the big one that I got mad and left on because these guys, a couple of high school guys, so we can't really give them too much credit, I guess, but they were you put Shaq as a defensive tackle. He's going to run in there, grab a running back, take him to the ground. I'm like, are you guys crazy?
Think about what he would do in passing lanes too, though. And he is highly explosive.
But there's not too many,
they're not 7 foot. And
so that's
are
the
there
thing.
any 7 foot evers? NFL players?
But is that because
King Dunlap was 6'8"?
Is that because they're playing basketball? I don't know. I don't know the reason. I don't want to rule it out.
There's a stat of how many people are over 7 foot and how many of those people are in the NBA. It's
I think it's I think it's 17% or something.
Yeah, something crazy. Yeah.
But I think somebody argued that. Yeah, that was in that Sports Team book too that we talked about with Castor Semenya thing.
Yeah.
But then it's 7 foot.
But Shaq was a different breed too. So the most 7 footers, I wouldn't argue Yao Ming would do good in the NFL or
college
a
Shaq?
slower college Shaq, LSU Shaq, just breaking glass backboards.
They'll put him at tackle probably.
They got to put him at tackle.
So anyway, I think
he's athletic enough to be an offensive tackle.
You change your opinion on Shaq Deasy playing defensive tackle in the NFL?
I think that's less believable than my argument for LeBron James. I think LeBron James would be a Hall of Fame tight end if he chose to go that direction. And I see where you got confused too, because I think my argument wasn't necessarily LeBron James right now could switch over and just be a dominant tight end. My argument was he was an All-American as a freshman or sophomore in college before ESPN was yo, you're this good at basketball, we're going to cover all your games in the same areas or whatever. If he would have continued to develop that skill set, I feel he could have been.
So he played a year or two of high school, was great.
Yeah, but I think if he would have kept playing and he would have had to go, 2 to 3 years of college, he would have developed the skill set necessary to do that. He's just a freak athlete, dude. He's 6'8", he's listed at 250. He's probably more. ESPN put him at a 4'6", 40-inch vertical leap. I think he just has that skill set, and he's he just works, dude. I think his philosophy on how he got so good at basketball went past just genetic gifts. I think a lot of people we were talking about at the combine they're genetically gifted, but they don't have the work ethic to follow it up and actually develop.
But that doesn't mean Michael Jordan has a work ethic.
Yeah.
It didn't equate. Obviously, he might not have given it enough time either.
Yeah, he played 2 years, and he made the minor leagues in baseball.
Bullshit.
What he did was crazy.
It was all for show. Do you think?
Do you think he got kicked out of the NBA for gambling?
No. Oh, I don't know. No, I meant the White Sox moving him up through the ranks.
To sell tickets?
I don't know if he was that good. Should we pull up his stats?
No.
We got the internet here.
He wasn't great.
But anyway, crazy work ethic, right?
But if he played
he might not care about
for
baseball.
as long as basketball.
But what if he didn't even care? He actually cared about.
Some people will never be a good basketball player. It's just
No, his work ethic for basketball could have been on another level because he actually cared about basketball. He might not care about baseball. Saying LeBron James. All right, Double-A. He batted .202 in Double-A. I ain't getting it done, bro. But anyway.
But I'm saying, that's a short duration, bro.
Yeah, I know. But he gave it up for good reason, I think.
I'm glad he gave it up.
Trying to win back titles.
Yeah.
Speaking of
which, he went 3, went out for he won 3. He won 3 NBA finals, and then
took a
played
break and then came back.
2 years and got 3 more. And I think he was almost made it to the finals the year. So I don't think they didn't make it. Maybe came back part of a year, and they didn't make the finals that year. And then the following 3, he won the finals again.
Yeah, you could be right. I don't know. But to apply the work ethic for something you care about deeply,
that's true too.
That doesn't
mean
it might not go and translate to other.
But I think a lot of those people that are successful are just
How many guys
grinders.
in the NFL?
It's in their It's a developed mindset, though. It's self-discipline, right?
But I think we talked about
people,
these guys might not care about football, but they're great at it and they get paid for it. Like you could be a janitor somewhere and just hate your job. Like, why would you think an NFL player loves his job? He might hate his job, but he's the best thing he's good at, and that's his.
And it's a means to an end.
Yeah, he's
puts
just
food on the table,
money.
making money while he can.
These guys are playing a game; they're making millions. They could still hate their freaking jobs and hate.
I think a lot of people come out and say they hate it, right?
Yes, I think so.
And the like abuse on their bodies and stuff. Yeah. Like, it's one of the more. I mean, these dudes are jacked up coming out of their careers. A lot of them. Brain and like body, like just body issues.
But it just
Gronk's like going to be a bionic person at some point.
Yeah, he's tore up. I mean, I don't know. Like, remember that Mark Schlereth dude had like 37 knee surgeries.
Yeah,
like what the heck is going
on? It's a shame.
No, but
it's a lot to deal with.
I just think too, if we get back onto the debate
topic,
I'm
telling you, LeBron James would be. No one could guard him, and he would high point. He would be a Hall of Fame tight end.
That's like the guy saying Usain Bolt, man.
He would suck.
Put him at receiver, bro.
Yeah, but look at the skill set for basketball. He probably can't catch a ball. I bet LeBron James could catch a football.
Run right by everybody.
Yeah, well, you probably had a guy like that in high school, though, that was awful. And he was just a decoy because he was fast. So they put him on a streak to, like, clear up some safety action.
I agree 100%. There were some guys that tried it. Like, remember Justin Gatlin might have tried, and then there was like a dude with the Niners, Ronald Nehemiah, in like the late 80s. I don't know if he.
Well, look at all those guys that.
There was one guy, it was Bob Hayes, or I think it was like Bullet Bob Hayes or some Cowboy. He might be a Hall of Famer. Like, he was an Olympian.
And legit.
Yeah, good receiver then, I think.
And Olympian speed is so much different because you got to learn how to come out of the blocks. And it's
guy.
Like, you have to be able to run, you have to be able to cut, like, you need to be able to change direction. It's a totally different animal.
You said like 98%.
What about all those guys that Al Davis?
Yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
is it Al Davis?
Raiders.
Yeah, he was drafting dudes with just, like, whatever, top end speed. Mm-hmm. That was like a waste of 4 number 1 picks in a row. Like, they were not panning out a receiver.
Yeah, no, I couldn't even remember some of those guys. Just awful picks. I know they got Darius Hayward Bay.
Oh, yeah, the one from Maryland.
DHB.
There were like 4 in a row, though. That was like legit. Like,
yeah.
He just kept trying the same methodology that was not successful.
Well, I think they did that in the past, and I don't know if everybody else just drafted dumb back in those days, that they were able to get away with making dumb decisions. I don't know. But now it's like, I don't think you can afford to miss on a first-round pick. Mm. Which brings us to some of these chumps. Did you take some notes on some people, man?
They set them back.
Let's pull them up
dramatically.
Vernon Golston. Remember that guy? 6'4", 260. What's LeBron's numbers? 6'8",
250 is listed. I think
we got 37.
Sneaking up there, 260, 270.
I got 37 written down. That's got to be his reps.
His vertical?
No, his reps.
Bench press.
4.67, 40, 35.5 vert, 10.5 broad jump.
So why do you think he's unsuccessful?
Matt Jones, 6'6", running a 4.37.
What's Kevin White stuff?
Oh, man.
It was crazy.
He didn't do 4.2, did he?
Possibly on the verge, right?
That's a local guy, too, man. You're taking shots.
I'm not taking shots. I'm just saying.
You're just wondering.
Yeah. Well, so part of the reason Kevin, I don't know if he's going to pan out or not, and he might still have a shot. I don't know, whatever. But he had like 2 nasty injuries his first 2 years in the league. 4.35.
Does that make sense, right?
That's probably solid. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, but man, getting hurt and all that stuff, dude.
Yeah, because that's a kind of like a screwball there, you know.
Yeah.
Like if you're getting injured the first few years in the leagues, like. He might never be that same athlete again. You see those guys that go into surgery and are never the same.
But do you think like LeBron James is a better athlete than Calvin Johnson?
I would think they're about comparable.
And I think they were both.
He was Megatron. He's just a freak.
Yeah.
I think LeBron James would be that freak in the NFL. Like a Megatron type situation.
All right, man. It's fine. You can think that. But this is my whole argument.
I think he would be like the NFL and I think he'd be able to stay healthier because he actually invests all his money into rehabilitation instead of slugging 30 packs, bro.
This is my debate. This is my argument with it. I think you're undervaluing
how good NFL players really are.
Yes, that's what it is. And not that I won't accept anybody that you would throw at me, but I'm kind of that because LeBron's at the top of the top. I just think that these guys are on a different level, and it's like I don't want to say it is specialized because it is a sport, so like you have to get some repetition with it. But these guys are on a different level, man. You see the freaks come out. You got notes on people too, right?
No, I didn't. I just wrote down stuff.
My favorite thing when I was looking up combine stuff, there was like Vernon Davis. Miami had remember Bruce Campbell? The Raiders took this guy.
Was a savage in the weight room.
Bruce Campbell.
Vernon Davis was going to be a special guy.
He was.
Well, he's still playing. He was awesome. He's been phenomenal for a long time.
Dude, he was great.
He was like shattered records in Maryland, wasn't he?
Yeah. My friend was down there when he was, and they like see him in the weight room and stuff, and it was like just off the chart stuff. But this guy, Bruce Campbell, do you remember him at all? We were talking about the Raiders. He was a combine freak. 2010. I'll take a second to pull that up. But my favorite thing when I was looking up some of this combine stuff was, hopefully this audio doesn't come on. Bo Jackson, they said he, they were like, hey, you ran a 4.12. Like a reporter asked him later, and he was like, no, I didn't do that. It was 4.13. Like he corrected him for 1/100th of a second.
I would have loved to see Bo Jackson's time if it was actually like electronic timers back then.
Well, they said too with what's his name?
Did they do the average of multiple stopwatches at that time?
I doubt it.
So it's just like one.
What was the Dion story? Like a 4.02 or something stupid?
No, I don't think it was. I think it was similar. It was like a 4.2
A 4.1.
4.1.
I guess we could look that up.
That story though is that's the only thing he did at the whole combine.
And then
he ran a
right
crazy 40, hopped in
yeah.
a limo, and walked away and said, "They know what I am."
There was that one lineman this year that did something crazy, right? Because this guy at 6'6", 320, he jumped 32 on a vert and did 4.85 in a 40. He was but this was 2010. The guys now I think are doing better than that.
Yeah.
Wasn't there a guy that went under? He went under 5 somebody this year at like 300 some pounds.
Everybody
thought it was great.
For sure.
But
let's talk about this real quick. Is there? I was reading this about it. It was I think it was actually about powerlifting, about these like crazy numbers that are going to hit right now. Like it's never going to stop, right? Like humans are just going to keep pushing. Like, is there a human capacity?
Probably, but then I think the body gets bigger as the body becomes more capable.
So like you'll never really. Like we'll just keep evolving and like
my frame might only be able to handle 500 pounds, say, but the frames are getting bigger as generation to generation. So I think the human capabilities will probably grow in accordance.
But it doesn't even have to be related to like.
Because I heard about people say about their bone.
Do you think a part of the reason people are getting so big is just because people have food now? Like in the Great Depression, people weren't as big, or in like certain situations, they just weren't as big. But we're like in the state of like abundance. Like
they weren't eating the same. They're
eating
like 1,200 calories, 1,500 calories a day.
But part of that's because they couldn't afford food, right?
No, that book, that Good Calories, Bad Calories, like people weren't consuming food. Like people, like 2,500 calories a day for somebody was like
high,
awesome. Like that was a lot.
It was like Brian Shaw's banging 14,000.
Like a guy with a job in 1930, you know?
Yeah,
was probably eating that. Yeah. And they said some iron workers or some other some guys that they were getting up to 5,000 calories. They were just comparing body types. Like these guys have the same frames, but one is on a 2,500 calorie, one's on a 5,000 calorie diet. Whatever. But yeah, I think we consume a lot.
It's got to be from a developmental standpoint if you're looking at like factors of like growth.
You get a bag of nuts
like
down the road.
You know how much of that's going to happen at younger ages compared to when they're actually mature and like working.
Well, yeah, I just think whatever it is. I mean, people will cite like it's a growth hormone. It's not the antibiotics, the stuff they're shooting in cows to get them big and fat.
Growth hormone. Oh yeah, that is growth hormone, right?
Yeah.
IGF, whatever.
But I thought there was other stuff too that they whatever. You get what I'm saying?
Antibiotics and steroids are pumping these cows full of man.
Yeah. And that's what people
trying to get yoked.
People are growing, man. People are bigger.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm short, man. To see all these kids, there's male, female, it doesn't matter. Everybody's taller than me, like in high schools.
Part of it seems to be genetics, though, too. Like I feel when I traveled to Mexico, there weren't very many tall people.
But they might be those people that dual burden of malnutrition where they overconsume.
But then there wouldn't be any fat people either, too. No. I see what you're saying.
Like there's those Indians that dude talked about Tobbs, like the Pima Indians in Arizona, like they just eat a bunch of rice and whatever. Or the people that you see, those like tribes that have huge bellies,
distended bellies, but
they're
barely eating
malnourished.
anything.
Yeah. I didn't even know that was a possibility, but yeah, the dual burden of malnutrition or something the guy was calling it. Yeah. So they're just consuming high carbohydrate stuff, and according to this guy, and getting. There's no nutrients in some of those foods, like rice and stuff. Like, are they getting vitamins, minerals, whatever? I doubt it.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, so they're just eating cheap stuff, and I don't know, man. So maybe they'll catch up. Maybe this is just a period of time. This is a pocket. Us white Americans are doing whatever, and then one day we might be the short. No, like those Iceland countries. What about your boy?
Thor Bjornsson?
Yeah, like that country's just filled apparently with.
They with giants.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, part of it is
what are they eating, man?
Genetic DNA stuff,
whales?
bro. Like,
they're
just Vikings, bro. They were out there just like doing battle and like rowing books and throwing axes. I don't
think
know.
there's
I think
some sort
of
yeah. All right, so
exploring, conquering.
Did we even answer what you asked? Do you think the human capabilities?
There's no limit. I don't think there's a limit. I think there's just going to be. It's just going to keep getting more and more insane.
Hey, people thought the 4-minute mile was impossible until Roger Bannister.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like, now there's high school kids running it.
Yeah.
Or, like, 37 people broke 4 minutes in the next,
people are just awesome, right?
Humans are incredible.
Incredible creature.
Jordan Peterson brought this up too. I brought this up last week in the last podcast show. But it was like human beings you could meet somebody and they could tell you that like their mother just died, their father has terminal cancer, their kid's sick and their car just died, but yet they could still go to work and push on every day. Like that's saying something about human capabilities, right? That like everybody that you meet could have all of these things going on.
One of them should shatter you and they're just grinding.
They don't have a choice, I guess. Humans keep grinding, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check this thing, make sure we're still on here.
Jordan Peterson's a wild guy. If anybody hasn't checked him out, check out some of his YouTube videos or podcasts, man.
He makes you feel
very inferior from an intelligence standpoint.
Yeah. He's actually, I just read something today.
He's
something happened to his wife, some sort of issue with the surgery.
Oh, really?
Some serious.
So his whole family's been ill then, huh? So his daughter like suffered from autoimmune disease for a long time, right?
She had these.
Before she
had like joint replacements. She had like juvenile arthritis or something. She had like ankle replacement, hip replacement at like 13 or 14 or something crazy. Yeah, they're just eating nothing but meat, which circles back to that book I was talking about. They were putting people on these diets, pretty much that carnivore style diet, totally restricting carbohydrates and like seeing that same stuff in like the 20s. Like Jordan Peterson lost 50 pounds, like significant weight loss, short amount of time, stuff like that. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Stuff's been around for a while.
Bro. Follow the money.
So this carnivore diet, people are talking about it like it's some sort of new thing, but I don't think it is. I mean,
it's just prevalent again.
And that's
almost everything with nutrition and even strength conditioning is so full circle.
Like the Inuits and stuff. I mean, they're just eating
fat and meat, protein and fat.
That's it.
So they're basically keto,
and they're not getting scurvy or anything like that. It's crazy. I don't know what's going on up there, man. They said something about vitamin C. If they consume carbohydrates, there's something about that. I took a note of it, but I'm not even going to look it up. I guess I could, but it'll take too long. Something about vitamin C being inhibited in response to something with insulin and blood sugar, something like that. So something gets inhibited. So those
like
sailors,
absorption of vitamin C, or like
something, yes, or it gets blocked, or something happens, or you excrete it. I don't really know.
So it's not even that they're not eating things with vitamin C in it. It's like even if they would, they wouldn't be able to get it.
Yeah, so I think that's how there's no scurvy in like the Inuit community. Don't know, man. A lot of craziness going on out there. Yep. How about you?
All the time, man.
What were we yelling at? No, that's it, man. I was trying to think of what we're yelling at each other, but we already hit it with LeBron James.
LeBron James is killing you. I think that was our most heated debate we had going in here all week.
Lesnar. See, I'm always just going to support wrestlers.
Yeah, that's your problem. You think they're superior athletes, whereas basketball players are actually superior athletes.
Have you ever seen an NCAA tournament on television? You just watch the other.
Do you think if LeBron James would try out for an NFL team now, he would make a practice squad?
To sell some tickets, bro.
Maybe this is what happened with Brock Lesnar then, bro.
Yeah, could have been. Stephen Neal, though, I'll go back to him. And Carlton Hasselrig. You don't even know that name, do you? Pennsylvania guy.
The only wrestler I know is Stephen Davis, Philip Davis. Who was the one that came out of Harrisburg that was a beast? That went to Penn State?
Yeah, it's Phil Davis.
Yeah, Phil Davis.
I think they call him Mr. Wonderful or something like that. He's a UFC guy. He's not.
Is he really?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't even think he's in the UFC. But
he's fighting MMA style.
Yeah, I don't. Probably on a lower level thing. Right here, man. Johnstown, PA. Carlton Hasselrig, Division II champ. So at that time, if you won Division IIs, you automatically qualify for Division I. He goes into the Division I tournament, wipes everybody out, wins the heavyweight title there. But he played with the Steelers for over 10 years. The GOAT, Carlton Hasselrig. Anyway, yeah, so it always seems to be the heavies that get it done. They drafted him in the 12th round, and he ended up playing in 1989, 12th round pick.
Think about how much that does for that franchise to get a steal like that.
Yeah.
Just a dominant player for 10 years.
He's not an NFL Hall of Famer by any means, but still, 12th round guy. Yeah. And he starts for you and all that.
Yeah,
but that's probably huge. The case. They see this heavyweight guy that was just killing people from Pitt, Johnstown. Yeah. So
it's all about potential.
Yeah,
that's what we were talking about with Bella in soccer the other day too. Like they're going to take someone with potential. Mm-hmm. They want your cap to be huge.
The wrestling coach.
It's not like they're not looking for that. They can see the kids that are already at their peak.
Yeah, and then they don't want them.
Yeah.
The coach up here. Well, this is from a parent that was telling me this, so it's coming through. Trickling down a little bit, but. The Lehigh coach for wrestling is like, we're just taking multi-sport athletes now.
Yeah.
We don't want these kids, like, you see it around here, you wrestle all year round, and you're just going to peak as a 15 or 16-year-old.
Yeah.
Then what? You're going to be a backup in college or whatever, terrible things. Or you're not even going to get a good deal. Everybody's going to pass you. The guys with that athletic skill set, if you watch some of the stuff now, and I even think you see it in the UFC.
Why is it so prevalent when there's so much research out there not supporting it?
Parents, coaches making wrong decisions.
Money, I guess.
Selfish
people are making money on that kind of stuff.
I think it's selfishness from coaches, and then parents might just not be. They might be unsure, and then they see some other kids doing stuff, and this kid's 14 and he's winning these titles, or 12. Oh, he's going to here. Let's send our kid there. But at what cost? You might be skipping other stuff. Meanwhile, the championship 12-year-old, he might stink when he's 15.
Yeah.
But you followed his path from 12 to 15, and then what?
Then leads you nowhere.
So I think you follow whatever you like. I think you just trust. I don't know. Do some research too, I guess.
Yeah.
Read about some of it. It's out there everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Like USA Soccer.
I was just listening to Chad Wesley Smith talk about it.
What was he saying? Same type of stuff?
He was just basically saying like early specialization is super inhibits performance and leads to like massive amount of injury and like from a like standpoint. So he was exposed. I guess he was good in track and then powerlifting, and he's been exposed to a couple different things.
Football, right?
But he's saying through college. Didn't he have a track or two?
I saw. Yeah, no, definitely through in college. But I thought I saw
he
pictures of him playing
in college,
football.
right?
I think you're right. Yeah.
I think he was a multi-sport athlete in college. But he's just saying about the capacity, like learning the extensive motor vocabulary learned in different sports is just applicable, and like the more you train like different pathways, like you're if you're a good enough athlete, it's going to be okay. And
learning that at a
more
young age
extensive vocabulary is huge.
I think learning it at a young age is big too. Like
huge.
Listening, and we'll drop this name every time, Joe Rogan.
Yeah.
But he was talking about fighters that these pathways that are so the guy that was
learning how to throw a kick at age 4 compared to age 27.
But it was that Eric Weinstein was talking about penis, and in a country like Russia or something like that, what they do to kids to become like some concert penis is like crazy, like potential
like
child abuse situation.
Yeah.
But learning, he's like, I play, and these kids blow me away. Weinstein said that. So, but he didn't pick it up till he was older. So I guess they say
like
with learning a language and all that stuff
those
too.
pathways, those neural pathways are just. You're just a sponge when you're younger.
Yeah.
Like look at learning a second language or a third language at age 34 compared to learning it even like 13, 14.
You would know.
You know? Yeah.
You speak at least
bilingual, multilingual maybe. Yeah.
5 languages?
Yeah, I get after it. Matumbo. You speak like 37 languages or something.
Matumbo.
Remember him?
Yeah, man. Deke.
Shake his finger. Not today.
So the pathways, specialization, we talk about it all the time. Yeah, I think you just got it. And then the injury thing too seems to get neglected. But kids get hurt, man, doing the same stuff over and over
for sure.
Repetitive use.
And it's just the overuse injuries, though, with the surgeries and stuff like that, too, is crazy. Like, I mean, athletics are dangerous. It is what it is. But if you're if you see a pattern like that developing, you would think, like, yo, I don't want this for my kid. Can't be getting Tommy John at 14.
No, but hey, he's gonna add 2
throw
miles
faster,
per hour.
Bro.
And then do this with his buddy drinking beers.
Yeah.
He's gonna be throwing.
Back in the day, in my
prime,
go
from 72
to 74. Game changer.
6. Yeah.
He'd probably be a relief pitcher then, in high school.
Knuckleballer, maybe. If that's a 74 mile an hour knuckle.
Can you imagine trying to smack a 90 mile an hour fastball though?
Obviously I'm halfway joking. Like your boy, Bat. Just fucking develop a knuckleball, man. Become a specialist of some sort.
He's got some good movement on his ball, supposedly.
Is that the word on the street? You heard that through the grapevine.
He's got a capacity though. He's gonna keep getting. He's still like baby faced.
Yeah, he's
gonna keep getting stronger, and he's got a big ass frame.
So what do you think about the kid then? So now like there's a lot of sports performance coaches. Like say the girl we were talking about, she's not seeking out another sport, but she's seeking out coaching in other areas. So do you think that's enough? Granted, her age. So let's say the kid. Let's say
you're
the
talking
person's
about
14.
the recruiting process with colleges.
No, athletic ability. So play soccer.
I think at some age specialization, it's when it occurs too, right? So like if you're getting early specialization, if you're talking like a 8 to 10-year-old, it's going to be much more like detrimental than it. Like if you're a 16-year-old dude and you know that you just want to play basketball in college and you want to play AAU basketball and high school basketball and just play basketball, it's a different situation than doing it at age 8.
You could find a strength coach that could help you, whatever.
Yeah.
So you're still going to work on some of these attributes, but you don't need to necessarily play a different sport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The later you get.
Age, yeah.
Yeah. Because how many multiple sport athletes? None exist anymore in professional sports, right? Or at the college level, how many kids play multiple sports in college? Like it's just too much.
Yeah.
So it's through the traditional like age continuum too, I'd say.
Yeah, and that like the NSCA stuff is like that too. I think it's like age whatever to 16 could be something, but then they have some overlap with age where like, but from 15 to 17, that might be a time that you could think about specializing.
Yeah.
So I think it depends on the kid and all that.
One thing, specialization, especially if we're talking about an injury, the longer you're in that specialization phase, I mean, that's the higher that rate's going to be. Just more and more wear and tear. It's hot in here, dude.
Now I was looking at, we got some possible rains coming in.
Oh, nice. Cucumbers are crazy this year, man. I like the water and the heat, bro.
That's good to know. You pickling those?
I'm not going to pickle them. I just eat them. Sometimes they burn off the vein.
Bro, I didn't
delicious.
even ask you this in weeks.
I let it shut down when I was traveling to OBX. I got my first fermentation process going last Wednesday, so I got to get another one in today so I can rotate. It's good stuff, bro.
Absolutely.
Oatmeal's worried about me, though. He said if I'm growing good bacteria, I could be growing bad bacteria, too, and get ill. I feel like you could get ill from the kombucha you buy anywhere, though.
Is that possible? I guess anything's
possible. Yeah, it's possible for sure. I think if I try to be real sterile about it, though, I'm all good.
I hope so. I don't know. It's kind of a new thing, man.
Yeah.
It's all new. Next thing you know, they're going to say kombucha has been killing people left and right.
Yeah.
That's why people are short in like one of those countries you mentioned earlier, because they drank nothing but kombucha for. I worry about the sugar in that stuff, man. I don't even know, because the process is like allegedly reduces, but I'm like, I just have a hard time wrapping my brain around it sometimes.
Well, I mean, if you're drinking a normal one from the store, it's like 12 grams at least, right?
Yeah, I think it's probably more.
Like the small ones, 12 to 14.
It's like, it's either like 6 or 8.
Yeah, so you double
and
that.
There's 2 servings in it. Yeah.
And I always drink the whole thing usually.
At least one.
They're delicious.
Well,
you drink gallons, dude, right? Weren't you drinking gallons for a minute?
Probably. When we got it from Don, yeah.
Yeah.
If I go
dude,
down
how much that podcast we did with Don? How much you drink that day?
Gallon.
Yeah, at least, dude.
But if I see him and I fill up whatever that is, what is that? 32 or something? 33.8.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'll drink that in a couple hours before we go home. Be strolling around Easton just slugging kombucha. And,
it does make you feel good.
It's good,
though.
man. It tastes good.
It's delicious.
We're talking though. Surgeries.
Oh, placebo effect.
Yeah, man. What do you got? You got anything to kickstart this convo?
Placebo effect?
Yeah.
I looked up sham surgeries that you were talking about.
I was looking up
online.
nocebo.
Yeah, placebo. It's just amazing the mind
nocebo?
and body connection. Like the placebo effect in general, that you can get like a health benefit from something. It's not even a joke. Just because you think it's working, it amazes me. But it just reiterates the point that like your mind's so powerful in a recovery process in general. Like if you have a positive mindset coming off a real surgery or a sham surgery, like you're gonna get better. Like you need to stay in that positive vibe, like Gary Vee zone, bro. Like you can't get that negative crap in your head.
They this lady, I don't even know who she is.
How is this ethical too? By the way,
18. That's the thing with the sham surgery.
Explain what a sham surgery is.
Well, but going with this lady said placebos work 18 to 80% of the time. So in some cases, it's as high as 80%.
So
she also
what
said so. Oh wait,
which diseases was that in relation to?
Don't know. She just said that.
Okay.
So there's a range, obviously.
All right.
But
I was wondering
like
which ones
50
were
years
at the
of
higher end of
research,
that.
and it's gonna work. Like even if it's 18%, it still works in a group. Like it's not like it's ever 0%, you know?
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool. And this is like they've been
Do you
studying
think
it
some
for
people are more
50 years.
receptive to that mindset? Or it's specific
But
to
it's
the
not
disease? Say
just
like
the mind.
diabetes is different than AIDS. You know? Like is it based
I
on
think
the
people
different
could-
disease, like the severity of different diseases, or it's more?
This is where this
based
lady
on
lost me, is because she
believing?
did talk about some stuff like that where it's symptoms for HIV, AIDS, like lessened, and I'm like I don't like you see those people on Instagram that are curing cancer with like cucumber juice. I'm
Yeah.
like, this guy's
Celery juice.
killing people.
Yeah.
Like if you follow this path, you're probably gonna die
Yeah.
because that's not gonna heal you. So this lady saying some stuff like that, I'm a little bit like, I don't know. But anyway, she was on a TED Talk. I don't know if that means anything.
I should watch that one. That's interesting.
18 minutes. Oh, anyway, it's not just in their minds. You know, she said things like ulcers heal, colons become less inflamed, the cells in people's bodies look
So you're gonna
differently,
heal regardless.
all because of their mindset.
So it is in your mind then.
No, because you're not just tricking yourself into thinking you're better. You're physiologically you're better. Like at the cellular level, there's repair being done. And then
Which there should always be though.
She said that there's a Rogaine study that said you give bald dudes a placebo and they grow hair. I didn't read it. I didn't look into that. But then it all came down to like this, these healing hormones, like parasympathetic system, where like these healing hormones, this relaxation response can be triggered.
So sympathetic is like the adrenaline and all that stuff that gets you like super stressed and
fight,
amped up.
flight. I always get
Parasympathetic
confused.
is like makes your body like relax and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those type of things kickstart like oxytocin and some other things that are actually
Promote healing.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
that's where the healing comes from.
Because I know it's like awful to be like in like the like if the sympathetic system is like overused and like overactivated, like it's awful for you to be in that like stage all the time.
Yeah. Game over. You're not going to heal. Whatever.
Yeah.
But
you're just going to be a miserable.
And another thing that I never thought of. Well, she talked about things. Meditate, be creative. You're like painting and all that.
I just started
all
meditating.
That stuff happens. Exercise, yoga, go for those hikes, walks, whatever.
Yeah.
Just to turn on more of those relaxation responses. So it's like you almost could write a prescription for yourself. But she also said too, like,
this is like changing your neural pathways after a while too.
But the way we talk to people, the way doctors talk to people, like we're placebos. The way that we talk to people and how we frame conversation, we can make people feel good. We can't say, "Hey, you have a 5% chance of dying."
Yeah.
Or no, a 5% chance of living. Or wait, whatever.
Like a strength
95.
coach.
No, like 95% chance of dying, or saying, you have a 5% chance of living. Like one's positive, one's negative, even though they're the same thing. So, like the way you frame things to people.
Glass half full, glass half empty.
Yeah, like being realistic is sometimes going to be detrimental to the person, and by giving them like this freaking doctor when our daughter was in the hospital was like, "Hey, she might have to drink formula until she's 18, like a special formula," and we're like
what?
What the hell, dude? Why would you even say that? Like that thing kind of aggravated me.
Yeah.
Even though he was giving us a realistic outset look at this thing, but
he doesn't even know what the likelihood of that would be. Like, why would you even bring that into a person's head?
Just that, hey, some kids have seen some positive results with that. But baby hasn't even been diagnosed with anything yet.
Yeah.
So it was weird. But anyway, that's an example where like doctor, he was just trying to be realistic.
Really bad bedside,
No, because he's been
behavior?
awesome. He's been awesome.
Oh, he's been awesome.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, he is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's like excited and super helpful and explained everything more than everybody else. But like saying something like that could really, like if I was an adult and I heard some sort of realistic expectation for something that brought me down a level like that could affect my healing.
Yeah, for sure.
And like that one book, like Man's Search for Meaning, Viktor Frankl was in these concentration camps, and like he said he knew when people were going to die. They had their hopes set up. We're going to get liberated on this day. That doesn't happen. Boom, big time. Their mood's affected huge. Next thing you know, they're getting typhoid fever, or like one of these little illnesses because their immune system dropped because their mood dropped and all that crap. Yeah.
I believe.
So his thing was like, I could control my mindset, and I'm just not going to allow myself to get to that point. And maybe he got lucky and didn't. He's one of the 5% that survived. Like I think it was something ridiculous. Like 19 out of 20 people at this camp died. He was, So
I'm a believer.
But then what about the nocebo? That's kind of what we're talking about. When told about serious side effects, 25% of people experience those side effects, even if they're given a sugar pill. Hey, you're going to get a headache, you're going to get nausea, stuff like that. People will, you're around sick people. Yeah, you're around sick people. Oh no, I'm going to get sick. And then next thing you know, they got the sniffles, stuff like that. Yeah, legit.
Oh man, it's kind of mind blowing though. How do you control for stuff like that though?
How do you control and
like
as an individual or like as
is that like a learned skill, like him staying positive, like a mindset, like he has like several mindset strategies or like a certain thing?
He chose that. That's what he said. He made that decision.
So it's like an internal like, it doesn't matter what happens. This is just.
But obviously, there's some germs that you could still
contract.
Yes.
Typhoid fever or
whatever.
Something else.
Something gross, but or anything, dude.
But if you have a compromised immune system from your mental state, I mean, I can see why.
Yeah, you're more susceptible to illness.
Yeah.
And I think the inverse works then as too. You could be
the body's pretty wild in general, like psychological disorders like anxiety and stuff like that. How there's actually like physiological like pain associated with like stomach like or joint pain, like it's just caused by what is it? Somatotype. It's just certain kind of like diseases that have like these like
somatosymptoms.
That have physiological like actual effects, but they're like completely psychological issues.
So you got to heal the mind.
Yeah, heal the mind.
Heal the body.
Meditate.
And vice versa.
Yeah.
Tell us about
Give
the meditation.
yourself a fighting shot.
Tell them.
So,
don't tell me.
So I started meditating. I've only done it, I think 4 times now. But I was doing some research. Yeah, I'm the one to be talking about this then, right? Because keep that in mind that I've only done it 4 times. But I do see.
Is it guided, or are you just sitting there?
Effective. So okay, I'm doing the guided ones. I guess it's kind of like a learned behavior too. So like Sam Harrison, people like that talk about like after a certain period you might be able to do it on your own. But he has like an app that he's selling for different guided meditations and do different ones daily. But there is something about like just controlling that breathing pattern and like your thought process of like almost like letting go of this, and then there's like a state of like clarity, and like I feel like you're like just the function of your brain seems better, that you don't have like these like tangents of negative thought possibly that could stay with you throughout the day. It seems like there's some kind of like positive effect for sure.
How long are you doing it?
I'm only doing I did 8 to 10 minute range duration. Some people will like do way longer. Some
When'd you do it?
Guided are like 20.
You do it right off the bat in the morning, or
the times that I had the most effect from it, I did it directly in the morning, and then I tried to do it once like because I guess some people use it for like sleeping and stuff too. There's like specific specific guided meditations for
just
sleep.
Wind it down before bed.
But I don't have a huge problem sleeping, man. Like if I do enough stuff during the day, I'm out.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah, I did that. I was outside for that camp 2 days ago. I had this camp like 2 hours, and then I worked out outside for like another hour, and I was walking, and like I was gonna hit 3 laps because this loop's like 20 minutes, and I was just like, after like 1.5 laps, I'm like, I don't know if I should continue. I did, which could have been stupid. I could have passed out there, I guess. But
you're David Goggins in yourself for sure.
I had to.
Gotta get this in.
Yeah, I had to get some. I had some water, luckily. Mm-hmm. But who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, but the heat seems to definitely take it out of you.
Yeah.
Outside physical labor, or even just like.
And I've been walking and doing stuff outside, and I thought I'd be acclimated, but still wasn't me out. I went home and just propped my feet up and laid
up. Maybe it's not even the heat. The humidity crushes me, I think, more than the heat does.
Yeah, it's a nightmare.
Like
I was talking to this dude.
I think it'd be cool if it was like 80s and 90s, but like for whatever reason, like 7 days in a row, I feel like we're just in this like cloud of moisture, man.
We are.
You can't. I feel like it's harder to breathe. It's
rough. I think just being where we live. Mm-hmm. Like this dude met his wife in Las Vegas. Now they live here, but he grew up here. And I was talking to him this morning, and his wife's like, why is it storm all the time? And like, why is it humid? Like, there's no humidity, I guess, and like
in Vegas, yeah,
no thunderstorms.
Vegas is like 100 degrees, but it doesn't feel that bad.
I guess it doesn't rain either. So
okay,
she was like, "What? Why does it rain all the time?" And like,
because we're not in a desert.
I know, yeah, that makes sense. Like, dude, get used to it, man. That's not going anywhere. Wait till the winter,
especially the last 2 years.
Yeah, but it could have been longer. I think I always feel like it's. I don't know. I've been doing this camp in July in the evenings, and like every year, like say they had 9 scheduled, and like 4 of them get canceled because thunderstorms start rolling in at like 5:50, and you're like, crap. Or 6:30 it started, or something, like 6 o'clock. It's like thunderstorm season.
Lehigh Valley.
We didn't even get to the sham surgeries, man.
Oh yeah, sham surgeries. You talk about that.
Basically, the placebo, nocebo. You don't think it's ethical?
No, dude. Because in order for a sham surgery to work, so if you're going to get so if they're saying they're going to scope your knee and then give you a couple marks so it looks like your knee was scoped, and then put you through the same rehab process, like in order for a sham surgery to actually work, you can't like sign up for a sham surgery,
right?
Like, because if you would sign up for it, it wouldn't work. That's the whole point. So like you think it's working, so like they're basically lying to you or deceiving you to get you to do, and then do a, like I don't know how they do it at all. It seems very unethical. It seems like these people are getting like, even how are there studies on these sham surgeries? You know?
Well, I did find one. 2004. Are
they in America?
The first one, yeah. So this guy, they were injecting like this cement into somebody's vertebrae for some sort of procedure. So this is the great part. They realized that they occasionally would make a mistake, and the person still reported they felt better. So
someone's like.
Then they did a trial of 131 patients. Half got the surgery, half did not. All reported the same amount of relief in terms of percentage-wise. So that was one I saw, and it was some sort of minor surgery. So like, obviously, if somebody's paralyzed, I don't think a sham surgery, or not paralyzed, but like some sort of devastating injury. Who knows?
Shattered
what do I know?
pelvis,
I don't know anything. It could work. Yeah. And then in 2014, the Finns.
Dolphins?
No, Finnish.
Oh.
They did. So this is the one I don't get because there wasn't a lot of details, but they did sham surgeries on people with torn knee ligaments and severe pain, and still had, positive results. You have a torn ligament. I don't know how you could feel better. You're obviously not going to go play basketball. But they reported it, yeah. Sham surgery was beneficial in 74% of trials. And in half of those trials, it was beneficial to the same degree of the people that got.
Like, that's a high rate.
Yeah, it's huge. I don't even know what to make of it. How's it ethical? Maybe they sign up for the trial, and they don't know which group they're going to be in. So it's a single blind?
Single blind.
Or is that double? How do you double
That's
blind that? You need a control?
I don't know. I feel like that would be against the Hippocratic oath to, like, I don't know. I don't even know.
I mean, I've even did a quick search yesterday, and they were talking about things with, like...
Yeah, it's got to be research, because it's something to do with placebo
like
drug studies. So I guess they are signing up for it with the intent that it might be... That might be what it is.
Yeah.
Because they can't just, like...
And it all started because... See, this is what I saw, like, there's stuff like the Journal of Ethics, like, probably debating on this, and surgery is one hell of a placebo. It's like some of these titles. Sham surgeries for Parkinson's, like, I'm like... Is that even... I don't think it's sham surgery. Is it inherently unethical?
There you go.
Maybe.
Probably.
But whatever. Hey.
But whatever. I guess they have to do this in order to see if it can be a legit surgical strategy, right? To help people.
It's like a psychological.
There's probably some money aspect involved too. I would assume a sham surgery would be much cheaper.
Well, they still cut you.
Actual procedure.
And they apparently on some of these.
But they still got to put you on anesthesia and all this stuff too, though.
But they went through the whole process to really like sell it. I guess like the whole crew's there. Pass me this, fake it. Pass me that, fake it. Stitch them up.
Just have superficial wounds.
That's it. It's probably better than actually getting something done if
it works.
If it heals you.
If you're in the 74%, it worked just as well as the other surgeries.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, man.
Yeah.
That's a high percentage. That's all I got on this, man. Subconscious self-healing abilities. The subconscious self-healing abilities. That's what it is, man. It's there.
If you believe you're going to get better, you're going to get better. To an extent.
Same surgery's ethical with a question mark. Took the same note yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, man. Now we got to get to the, I don't even know if it's good stuff. Health and fitness stuff.
Health and fitness top 10?
Yeah, but I had Rogan and Conover discussion. Remember that deal? That guy was talking about the sex differences and, the deadlifter, the male that becomes a female that shatters a deadlift record, stuff like that we talked about.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Something came up, though, in there that I thought we wanted to get on, but don't know, man. You remember anything?
I felt the same way we did this last time.
It was a while ago. Exercise is medicine.
Exercise is medicine. Heck yeah.
Top 10.
Top 10.
We're breaking down the top 10 fitness trends for 2019.
Let's get it.
Boom, number 10.
Exercise is medicine.
Exercise is medicing. So
I 100% agree with them.
ACSM, American
College.
I almost said Council. American College of Sports Medicine. They have this huge initiative. People are sedentary. People are out of shape. The numbers are kind of crazy. You get down to it here. 23% of adults, this is globally, 18 and older, and 80% of adolescents are insufficiently active. So people are moving. 2016, 48% of adults are not meeting the physical activity guidelines for aerobic activity. 78% of adults are not meeting the guidelines for both aerobic and strength training. U.S. adolescents and adults spend almost 8 hours a day in sedentary behavior.
No adherence. People just don't care.
8 hours, man.
People just don't care.
Doing what we're doing right now, sitting around doing nothing. Talking trash, talking nonsense. Approximately 36% of adults engage in no leisure time physical activity.
It's hard to fix 8 to 12 hours a day sitting at a desk with 30 minutes of structured exercise, man.
Can't do it. Doesn't fix it. Children, 3 to 6 years, any kind of physical activity, bone health, weight status, pretty healthy. 6 to 17. Talked about some of the stuff we had with athletes, but improved brain function, cardio, respiratory, muscular fitness, stuff you would think of. Bone health. Talked about it last week with Megan. Being malnourished, being inactive, like your bone density could.
What's the premise of this, though? Like, exercise is medicine is a trend.
Oh, so they're trying to get doctors to almost prescribe physical activity.
Okay.
Like that, their movement is to get medical professionals.
So good. That's awesome.
To kind of get on board a little bit more.
So this is all the negative, but it's not working very well if that's adherent.
Well, it's just saying that if you're not doing it, like adults of all ages, you like all-cause mortality. Sorry, if you start moving, you're going to have a lower risk of all-cause mortality, stuff like that. The science is out there. You're going to be able to live longer. less incidence of cancer in some cases, reduced risk of dementia, improved sleep quality.
Oh, yeah.
Anxiety,
Hit me with it,
depression,
bro. I like
gone.
it.
Reduced risk of excessive weight gain, stuff like that. Older adults, Dan John.
Let's go.
Scariest thing he does.
Start them young, though.
Other than
These people got to get started working out earlier.
getting out of the bathtub,
Really?
getting out of the shower is the.
I thought it was falls. Well,
Yes, because you fall.
Out of the shower.
But it's like if you don't drive a car that day, he said of a population, maybe it's like 60 and older, that is the most dangerous thing you'll do is like stepping out of a bathtub.
Makes sense.
People die.
That's why they
man.
have those little door things now, right?
Yeah, need to get on board with that. I think get one of those.
You ever slide in the shower like when the mat's like becomes unstuck and you like almost like surfboarded out?
Yeah, man.
You like almost rip your groin off. That's awful.
Terrible.
Can you imagine
Sounds
doing
awful.
that if you're 80 or something?
Ripping your groin
80
off.
and out of shape?
Whew, it's pouring out there.
Yeah, it's real.
Pre-existing condition, same stuff, man. It's gonna help.
For sure.
That's number
I mean,
10. Why is that number 10?
I'm extremely...
We got to get that up on the list here.
Number
Fitness
one.
trends.
Number 1, bro.
It's number 10.
Was 9.
Functional.
Functional fitness training. Applicable to real life.
What do you think, man?
Depends how you define
We're talking
it, but-
balance, coordination, strength, endurance. How you defining that? Functional fitness.
It depends. I think functional fitness is great, but I think it depends how you define it.
Define it.
If
Frank Donley defined
if you're
definition.
training human movements that allow you to do things like deadlift to pick up something safely off the ground, or squat to squat down and pick up your grandson, like that's functional fitness. That's boom.
Activities of daily
That's
living.
beautiful. Yeah, that's getting you prepared to do things you actually need to do and make you less likely to get an injury doing those things. I think functional fitness training is great.
Absolutely. I'm with it. Same thing. Activities of daily
People
living. That's how it's defined.
I think people.
Pushing, pulling, picking stuff up,
Yeah.
carrying some weights around.
Yeah, that's how you should. That's how I think everybody should train, honestly, or at least the greater percentage of people.
Yeah.
Unless you're very specific in a niche, CrossFit, bodybuilding, something like that,
Still, I think you probably should.
or have at least part of that as your training, right?
Yeah.
Capacity.
Personal training on the list. Number 8.
People like personal training, man. It provides accountability. I think there's less injuries. I think you can keep people progressively overloading, keep people motivated, create a good environment for people to train in. I think personal training is great for a lot of people.
13-year streak in the top 10.
Yeah,
Personal training.
that's good.
Been there.
It's probably a double-edged sword, though.
Yoga.
Some good trainers, some bad trainers, right? Just like doctors, just like anything. Yoga. I've actually only done yoga in high school.
What's your thoughts on goat yoga?
I have very limited exposure to goat yoga. Besides your girl Steph having an anti-frail shirt on when she sent us a picture of them doing yoga with goats.
That's awesome.
That's about all I'm exposed to.
Was there a goat on her back?
I think it was. They do that with other animals too, right? Like dogs.
Oh, no. We could find out, though.
Goat yoga on this
Dog?
list or just yoga?
No, yoga, but it does mention goat yoga. Yoga's number 7. Employing certified fitness professionals, number 6. What's your thoughts?
Why the hell wasn't on that on there longer than 10 years ago,
Do you
right?
think? Do you think if
Get
you hire
qualified
somebody,
people to do the job, they should be.
they should be certified?
Nah, maybe not. I guess actually, if they
So
have a
those
different
exceptions.
background, education,
about
20 years of
DDP?
experience, you believe everything they say.
What about Diamond Dallas
Good ethical
Page
person. Would I hire him?
as your yoga teacher, coming out of the squared circle?
He would probably get me doing yoga.
He's limber.
Yeah, what do you think about? Did we talk about this last time? Lord Harrison, all the working out he does in the pool, like
Hamilton.
he developed the training system.
Yeah.
I always mess it up. The big wave surfer that developed the system of training that's very specific, not swimming, but very specific to training in pools.
Yeah, man.
Like his NBA players doing Joakim Noah and stuff.
He apparently resurrected Joe Noah's career.
Yeah.
Maybe he just needed to
He's
get
also
healthy.
got some delicious coffee, I hear.
Maybe Noah just needed to get healthy.
Yeah.
And that was the way that they would keep it low impact. They were doing like jumps and throwing dumbbells underwater.
And underwater, yeah.
It's kind of cool. It has to feel good.
I would think so.
Start bench pressing underwater, probably
You
release.
probably, you probably I mean, I would assume you would get like supple, right?
Maybe.
Restorative?
Maybe. Probably restorative. He's feeling
Chad
good.
Wilson
That's what
Smith
he's
was
doing.
saying before starting gymnastics is
Why, he's doing gymnastics?
youth development thing, going back
Yeah.
to that. But he was actually saying about if you really want to get your kids involved, or if this is something you want your kids to be exposed to, like develop a good athletic base to get them in the pool like early, even before gymnastics. Before you learn how to roll and do all that stuff, you actually just like the fluidity of moving in a pool or something neurologically.
Didn't know that. It's
Yeah.
like a baby
Interesting, yeah.
in the womb floating around. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Body weight training, number 5. Body weight exercises. What are you doing?
Push-ups, pull-ups, pistol squats, maybe. No,
some
I
bad
don't know
things.
about pistol squats.
Heard some bad things about that exercise
Pistol
there, bro.
squats? What do you think about overloading a pistol squat as opposed to overloading a back squat?
What do you mean?
Just like, do you think it's a good idea?
Put,
Do you think you should have the capacity? Let's start with this. Do you think you should have the capacity to do a pistol squat? Because I can't do a rope like a rope pistol squat ass to grass or anything.
I think a low percentage of people could probably go that low. So should you be able to do that? You could do it bilateral or no, with both feet on the ground?
Could you yourself?
Could you?
Yeah. I think I'd unilateral on balances though, for sure.
Yeah, I do. I feel different from side to side. I don't think you should be able to. No, maybe.
Do you think you should be able to do a push-up or a pull-up?
Yeah, that'd be ideal. I would think.
So what would the lower body
Honestly,
equivalent to?
People hang out down there. Like as a stretch, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you need the ankle mobility, all that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe you
Ankle,
should.
hips.
Maybe you should work on it. See what happens.
Yeah.
Chin up.
I feel like I watch a lot of pistol squats though, and I get real like sketchy, like limited knee stability for sure. Like I see stuff bouncing around and like.
I don't think it's good. I've done it before.
I don't know if you should be doing that or maybe just with that quality of motion. Maybe if you could actually have complete like knee stability throughout the whole range of motion. People load them up too. I don't know.
I'll pass.
Yeah, I would pass too.
You could do like split squats, something like that instead, maybe.
But then you would load it up.
Yeah. So body weight. What's your options?
I think you should master bodyweight exercises like push-ups and pull-ups, probably as a base of strength and conditioning.
But you also should be able to do body weight split squats or body weight lunges
squats.
maybe or something,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
so like through the full range of motion.
Yeah,
But it won't be as hard as trying to learn a chin up probably.
yeah.
Guess it
Chin-ups are
depends on
battles
where
for a lot of people. I battle with pull-ups for sure. Chin-ups for all.
Yeah, no doubt.
You get better at them though, eventually.
You
Just
do?
a lot of work.
Practice.
Just a lot of work.
Talking about practice.
Practice. I'm gonna talk about the game, brah.
Fitness programs, number 4, for older adults. We talked about it.
That's what I'm saying.
We talked about it.
Get them started young, but if not, anytime's better than not doing it at all.
Work out forever.
Yeah,
But like, if you're, just because you're 60 and feel like crap doesn't mean you shouldn't try to feel better.
100%.
Can't accept it.
Yeah, embrace it.
Somebody who's in their 30s told me like, hey, this is your situation, you're gonna have this joint pain, whatever, and it's like, well, you could either accept that or try to make it better.
Yeah,
So
mindset, baby.
why wouldn't you try to make that thing better? Now we're getting down to the top 3, bro. High intensity interval training. Hit.
Where was this order? People have been talking about high intensity interval training for
Dude,
30 years.
but it's still in the mix.
It's
surviving the test of time.
But I think it's
2018, top spot. 2014 was the top spot.
But that's because it's good. Why is it on this list? Like, I think it's
Because
beneficial to people.
It's still a trend.
Yeah.
How do you program
I like high intensity interval training at shorter durations though. I don't know what it's actually talking about.
High intensity bouts of exercise followed by a short period of rest. So probably not something you would do.
Sprint.
Sprint. Yeah, but it says short periods of rest. I do the opposite. I take
So I do longer breaks, yeah. But if you take short rest, you can't keep up the high intensity for a long time.
Correct. He
So that's
talks
what
about a
they're
30-minute workout. No, but if you do a Tabata with a very hard exercise, like you're probably done.
In 8 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like front squats.
Oh, yeah. You remember that? What was that challenge? Front squat into a 400-meter?
Yeah, Litvinov one.
Oh, yeah. This is 4 rounds? It's like 8 to 10
3.
front squats and then 3 rounds.
It's like 8
into
reps.
a 400-meter.
8 reps on a squat.
Rest periods. As long as you need. None.
Less
Less is more.
Less is more. I think,
Oh, man.
I think you get it
Imagine the
done.
hormonal response from that.
10 to 12 minutes of mayhem.
Yeah.
Number 2, group training. We had a good example of this last night, I think.
Group training.
Yeah.
I think group training is great because it makes it affordable for people to train. But I think the downside would be at some point you probably can max out the capacities of group training.
Right. But last night we had those dudes
Oh, the 2 kids
Team
doing
Money?
battle? Team Mizzy
Team
and
Money.
Ben Seifs?
and Seif Dog.
That was the best session they've ever had in here, dude. We pinned them against each other. Competition's good sometimes.
And I think they got that in the group aspect.
Yeah.
This
But that's
guy,
not
here
even
he
group
is.
training. That's 2 people. I would consider group training like anything over like 5 or 6 people, maybe,
Yeah.
you know,
Or
5 or
that,
6
even
athletes.
those either
Or
huge,
20, you know, 20 to 30.
huge,
I would consider
large
that more
ones.
group training.
Sergey Litvinov, 5'10", 196 pounds, all right? 8 reps of front squats with 405 pounds, immediately followed by a 75-second 400-meter run. Repeat this for a total of 3 times and go home.
That's pretty fast, though. So
196.
That's pretty fast at that body weight, dude.
And this put him on a different level in terms of his throwing, his hammer throwing career, because he got lean and more powerful. It's pretty lower
thick
bottom.
in the hindquarters. That's why you got to be thick to be an athlete, man.
Sergey
legs and
Livanov.
ass and shit.
What are your options? Front squats, obviously, we said that. Cleans, clean and press, clean and jerk, deadlift, overhead squat, snatch. I would just stick with the front squat, man.
Safest, right? If you're getting that fatigued, why not just pick the safest one? You don't see many injuries with the front squat, as long as you have the mobility to front squat.
People complain of the upper body.
Yeah, but that's just because they need to do it more.
Yeah.
They'll lose that tightness eventually.
That's a flood warning right there.
Yeah, it's definitely what that is.
Frank's phone's buzzing, man. We got a flood warning going on. I better fire up the boat. Anyway, that was number 2.
That was the last one.
Sorry, we went back to group training for some reason.
Group training?
Yeah. Yeah, we're good. We got
got
that, man. We got the
training?
gist.
You
No,
like doing group
we
training?
saw it last night. People coming in.
We saw the benefit.
Yeah. Wearable. You're seeing this now with some of your people. Wearable
Yeah, wearable technology is huge right now.
Smartwatches, fitness trackers, heart rate monitors.
Yeah, I have a few clients that are using them now. They love them. I think there's some good to it if it's going to hold you to a accountability level and you're going to hit the intensities that you need that you wouldn't be hitting otherwise. Run with it, right? But I don't think it's necessarily a necessity.
So
like if you're especially like training people, like I don't need to look at it necessarily. Like you can like actually do your job and like kind of like assess how things are going with like bar speed and like whatever stupid stuff like talk test and like stuff like that. And like people can get a good workout without it, but I think if it's enhancing your workout, man, I think it's good.
What do they use it for?
To track
like a calorie thing or no?
Yeah, it's like maps calories and stuff like that. So if that's your goal,
Yeah.
Obviously calories aren't the only way to get a good workout, but bro, Jack and Steel burns calories, man.
I know. I told you when I watched their phones because the thing comes up when you're training them.
Oh yeah.
And like what were they doing that one day? It was like 90-some%, and it was just doing a strength move,
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh,
If
really?"
you're doing like 3 to 5 reps at like a high percentage, like your heart rate's gonna get up.
Yeah, I agree 100%. But people don't really realize that sometimes. I don't think.
Yeah, because I think if you're thinking about strength training, a lot of people think about like taking like whatever.
But like if me and you did stuff,
singles, and then taking a 5-minute rest.
Me and you deadlifted 400 pounds for whatever, your heart rate would be much more calm than mine. So if you
At
wanted
the same load, you mean?
Yeah, so if you wanted to get yours in that 85 range if
need-
we wanted to do the same thing, you would have to adjust. Same with like going for a run. Like you could have a gym class where, hey, we're going to run an 8-minute mile. But for one kid, he might be at 60% of his max and another kid can't even do it. Yeah, or he's walking and they're at 90.
Yeah.
So it's a way to keep people honest, I guess, man.
Yeah.
Especially in the
I
group
think it's
setting.
cool that you can get like analysis like over time too. Like it's kind of cool if you like log something like that for whatever. So you do it for like 3 years and then you can look back.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty cool.
So you could see whatever you did. And
It's just like a reward,
You could run the same time, but if your heart rate is 8 beats per minute lower, like that's progress.
Like you're in better shape.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool, man. What else you got for us today? What else you got in these notes, man? You got math equations at the bottom.
Where?
That looks like mathematics.
Yeah, it's not from this at all. I don't know what I was doing there. Trying to figure out 1.5 of somebody's body weight, it looks like.
God, use a calculator.
Yeah, I should. That's just Brown James, sham surgeries, placebo effect.
That's it, man.
Went over these 10.
What else you doing workout-wise?
Oh,
Anything cool?
I just got back on the juggernaut on a straight bar. I just like having stuff easy. Like that's why I like that juggernaut method. Like I think I can just like do it.
Yeah, I think it's a value of following somebody else's program, so you don't have to think about anything.
Yeah, it's awesome, right?
It is. It's. You tell people, yeah, I'm just following this program.
Seems
and they're
like
oh,
brainless.
you follow somebody else's? I'm like, I don't want to think about whatever I'm doing, honestly.
Yeah.
You know,
and you just shut up and do it.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, if you're doing programming for people all day long, like that's the last thing I want to do for myself. Like I just want to like have it there and just rip it. But then you have some creativity if you do accessory. Well, you just do it and leave. But I do a couple accessory lifts and stuff like that to work on my weaknesses and stuff. So I have a little creativity there and can do a little more. But
that was like the benefit of like say going to a yoga class too. Was like you just go and
do what they say.
75 or 90 minutes and go home.
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
When's the last time you did a yoga class? You used to be a Bikram guy, hot yoga.
Yeah, but I went for like a year, twice a week for like a year, a couple years ago.
Did you feel any better when you were doing it?
Yeah, it was awesome. I liked it a lot. But it's 20 minutes away, and I don't think I was working as much at the time. I really don't know how I was sneaking it in.
Or maybe you're just in that area more.
Didn't have a child.
Ciao.
So I quit working and start doing more yoga.
Yeah, you should do that.
Oh, well, deal. That's it, man. What else you got?
Keep strength training, bro.
Game over. Peace, everybody.